everybody, I'm going to be talking about the 13th episode of Survivor Winners at War. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch it because there are going to be spoilers. One moment of this episode that I really liked was Michelle failing at the first immunity challenge. It was really touching seeing how emotional that she got. I just really felt for her as somebody who isn't very athletic at all. I feel like if I were to play that, I would probably have a moment like that, and so seeing that was really heart-wrenching. Nick ended up winning the first immunity, which is good for him because he was supposed to be the next one out. He was ultimately the swing vote in the first vote. I think that Personal has really made a comeback in this season. In the early seasons, not hurting people's feelings and being considerate of your friends on the tribe was a large element of the game. And as it's progressed, players have become more cold and more calculated, which of course has resulted in what I think is better gameplay. However, I think in this season, because of the dynamics of the people, it's almost kind of like a blood versus water element in there, because so many of these people have friendships, they have histories, and so people are not willing to be as cutthroats. A moment I really liked during the first tribal council was when some of the players were talking about the mental and emotional effects of the game when they got home. Hearing about how some of them had trust issues with, family members and friends and strangers. I always love hearing about how the game influences life and how life influences the game. And I think that this is something that really, as a viewer, we don't think about. We know that they lose weight and they might, come home physically weaker, but the emotional toll is something that we don't always think about, and so hearing them talk about it was really eye-opening. Jeremy ended up being the first person voted off in this episode, which I'm honestly surprised that he lasted this long, because he's kind of been at the bottom the whole game, and I don't think he's been on the correct side of the vote the whole game either, or at least maybe just a couple of times. Natalie found the final advantage on the edge of extinction, which, obviously, I wasn't all that surprised. She's found almost all of them. The advantage is basically a disadvantage. So she was able to sell Nick a disadvantage for 8 tokens, so that Nick was able to give Ben a disadvantage in the immunity challenge, which ended up working. Nick didn't win, but Michelle did. And it was nice seeing her win after the recent immunity challenge, which was really hard on her. So Tony goes back into his spy nest, and it actually works for the first time this season. He finds out that Denise is gunning for him, which then makes him change his trajectory. He was considering voting Ben out, but then he decided that Denise was a bigger threat. However, in the end, Nick went home. I'm not sure if Tony wanted Denise out, but he couldn't convince enough people to vote for her, or if he just genuinely thought that Nick was a greater threat. I personally think they're kind of on the same level. Everybody at this point has played a solid game. They've just played different games. So I was pretty sure that somebody would be coming back from the edge this episode, but it's actually happening on the final episode, which is next week. I'm super stoked about it. I will be putting up a video next Thursday, so make sure to tune in. It's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be 3 hours. I'm just excited for the most epic Survivor battle and war that has ever happened. It's going to be amazing, and I don't know how any season can top this one. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Bye!